let's recap 2024.
I'm going to describe 2024 as being epic.
Is there an emoji that gets like shook? Because there are so many things that happened this year.
Expensive. I was going for a lot of concerts with my own money, of course.
In 1 year, Singapore has become the party place in Southeast Asia.
Just concerts, and more concerts.
2024 was a year in which all around the world there were a lot of changes in leadership.
The 47th President of the United States.
Donald Trump is back in the White House.
America has given us an unprecedented and powerful mandate.
2024 was the hottest year that we've had on record for decades.
When you read the news and all, there's a lot of negativities.
All the wars that are going on in different parts of the world. While all these things are happening, there are also very nice things happening.
It's important for us to focus on inspiring stories because what's the one thing you look to when all lights are out? I think it's stories of hope.
Inspiring stories center around people and possibility.
I think they give us that kind of hope for what the next year can bring.
I have 10 inspiring moments of 2024. So out of the 10, can you tell me which number is the most inspiring and why?
Oh my goodness. Number 2,
Number 10?
I think number 4.
For me, it's number 3.
number 5.
I think 6 for me.
Our friends over at On the Red Dot, they want to ask you to vote for the most inspiring moment for you over at cna.asia/2024 inspiring moment.
And I can only pick one.
Done.
I voted already.
Voted.
Done.
Let's go, top 10!
If there was one match in 2024 which encapsulated what we were always hoping for, that dawn of hope.
Singapore versus China highlights, let's go!
Well, China has made it to the World Cup, Singapore hasn't. In many ways, they are a superpower. In that match, Singapore was not expected to do anything. In fact, the question was not whether or not we would lose, but by how much. So the Lions were down 2-0 at halftime. No one expected that they would be able to recover. But what happened was the coach made some changes. The boys came out fighting. First, it was Faris Ramli who gave us some hope. When Jacob Mahler scored the equalizer in the second half with only minutes left to go. That really gave the whole stadium an opportunity to rise. For us to have been able to draw China at the National Stadium in a match in which I think everyone was expecting us to lose was historic. It was ecstatic for the fans.
We did not win, but I think it gave us a new sense of hope that going forward, fans, myself and all other fans were really hopeful that we could really see more exciting things coming in the future. The new coach, the players could elevate the level of the local game and bring us up to a more competitive level.
So for the amount of times I've hosted NDP, 11 as of 2024, it hasn't rained.
Actually, that day, I was already aware that it was pouring as I was on my way. I think Joaquim Gomez and Sonia, who were the hosts for NDP, they were already doing these little snippets where they were wearing ponchos and talking about the rain.
And there's something magical about 27,000 people singing that year's theme song for the rehearsals, to practice before we go live. They were all in their ponchos, they were still all smiles, people were clapping and cheering. I think, again, cliche, but the Singapore spirit was really shown that day. We were all scared, would the show be delayed, would the red lion still jump, because they are such a huge highlight of the show.
As it turned out, we saw a lot of people helping each other. You saw people really pitching in together to protect each other, to support each other on what is the most important day for Singapore.
In 1968, the rain almost cancelled the parade. At that point, Lee Kuan Yew made the decision we need to go on to the parade to actually make the point that Singapore is a resilient nation. So it is important that regardless of whatever happens, like the show must go on.
The Red Lions! All right! It is still happening!
And here he comes. Red Lions, it looks like they're ice skating. They were wobbling a little bit and then they managed to like ground themselves. But there are some, I'm not sure who, kind of butt landed and then they get back up. Woo! I was initially quite concerned. I'm just afraid that they might slip and injure themselves.
I don't think it was the rain, it was how people reacted to it. It was beautiful. Like the rain just somehow brought a bit of respite from the heat. And as much as it was thundering, the rain did not dampen our parade.
It's a monumental event, right? Because this is really once in a generation.
The Pope's tour was highly anticipated in 2024.
And Singapore rolls out a multicultural welcome for Pope Francis, the second visit by a Pope in nearly 40 years.
It's a monumental event, right? Because the last time a Pope came was a whole generation ago. And the last time he came for only a few hours. This time he came, like, more than a day.
He went to Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, Timor-Leste. Singapore was the final leg of his 12-day tour of the region.
来到新加坡，我觉得很 special 咯，也不是每一个 country 他都去的，是吗？ Although I'm not a Christian, not a Catholic also, but 我是觉得很 proud of Singapore 咯。
I was very touched because he's actually the highest ruler of the countries, but he's very humble. He actually sit together with the journalists and then went around and say thank you to everybody.
The Catholic population in Singapore numbers just in the hundreds of thousands, but globally, we're talking about an individual who has captured the attention and the hearts and the minds of over 1 billion people. And that's a number you can't ignore.
So I was a volunteer for the Papal Mass this year and I was part of the social media team. So what we did was to be on ground, to take videos and photos. Never in my life I had this chance to see 50,000 Catholic community together. And in that moment it just made me feel like, hey, I'm part of something special. And I'm part of a family.
At about 4:30 p.m. sharp, guess who shows up? The Pope in his Pope-mobile.
For Pope Francis, who is 88, what was very nice to see and also interesting was all the parents with their babies running forward to the barricade, passing the Pope, take, take, please touch him. So hopefully whoever the Pope touches or blessed, he becomes something special in life.
I think being a mother myself, like just witnessing that it was just such a beautiful moment, like seeing other children be blessed. I think that was a very emotional and powerful moment for me.
It showed me like how the Pope is as a person, because he was really patient. Like the kids kept coming, like the security had to keep like bringing kids in and out like for him to bless, but he showed no signs of frustration. We saw people from Philippines, Indonesia. I think even India, there were some. It was quite an eye-opener to see people from all over the world actually coming down.
Just this particular moment of like singing a prayer and just hearing so many voices, it really gave me goosebumps.
I confess.
One of the things that I think came out to me as inspiring or as very positive, it was the fact that he was part of an interfaith dialogue.
Shall we do one more cheer with the Papa Francesco?
There were 600 different youths from over 50 different schools and various religious organizations that were as privileged as I was to come and enjoy the interreligious dialogue together. So on the big day in Catholic Junior College, I was on stage representing the college and also representing myself as a Muslim. It really gave me the opportunity to share my experiences as a Muslim in Singapore. Had Pope Francis not come to Singapore, I would never have been given the platform to speak to my friends or to speak to fellow youth about why interreligious harmony in Singapore is so important and why it needs to be talked about. A part of the dialogue was for the different interreligious youth to share different issues that they are facing in their own lives and to seek advice from the Pope.
Ma non ingrassa la pancia, ingrassa la mente.
Don't let your stomach get fat, but let your head get fat.
Per questo io dico ai
It really inspired me to, first of all, not want to be fat. And second of all, to not want to be consumed by my own ideas.
When Pope Francis came and did the little dot, right? This batik painting really represents the amount of unity that we have in Singapore. That even though we're so diverse, we're so different, but when we come together, right, we truly can do great things. And I think that was the inspiration, that to take conversations with others and just be candid about it, you know, about how we can respect each other.
And so the Pope represents that. The chance, maybe, in all of this cataclysm of news, sometimes tough news, sometimes challenging news, sometimes the kind of news that we don't want to hear, but that we are faced with, that there still remains that sliver of hope. You know, there is that window that we can change things.
When Singapore played the return leg against Thailand, that game was an important one, not actually for Singapore, but it was more important for Thailand. If they had put more than 3 clear goals into Hassan Sunny's net, they would have picked China to make it to the next qualifying round, which is the third round of the World Cup qualifiers.
Hassan Sunny had a man of the match performance. He made, I believe it was 11 saves to keep the team in the game despite vastly superior opposition.
Had Hassan Sunny saved one less goal against Thailand, China would not have been able to advance to the next round of the World Cup qualifiers. That ended the Thais' World Cup dreams.
Hassan was there to prove a point, right, that he is still one of the best goalkeepers in this region, if not the best.
Saving 11 shots still were not good enough. But China fans thought that I'm helping them in a way to concede. So they were saying, oh, Hassan helped us. He even got himself a yellow card. I was just doing my job. The next day, my wife sent me a text at 7:35. She said, Chinese fans are here waiting for you. I did not believe at first. Then I said, send me a video, man, I want to see. It was full and everyone was with their phones and recording, hey, here. And so I'm here in Dapo Hassan's shop.
Hassan Sunny, the most famous Singaporean in China. Today, he's the #1 trending in all the platforms in China. Why? Because the match yesterday between Singapore and Thailand, he's the key man who helped China to go to the next round. This morning, a guy posted this barcode in China and they received a lot of payments from China.
We have a lot of Chinese nationals based in Singapore. They came down to my shop and took a photo, scan and pay. They viral the QR code. In a way, for them to show support, they transfer money via that QR code. It's not my money, so I think I have to do my part to the charity as well. I did not come from a well-to-do family, so I understand the pain and struggle this low-income family going through. So it's only my duty to just repay, or I must say, show back to the community that it's time for me to help.
I was quite surprised to hear that Hassan Sunny donated the money actually. I think football fans in general wouldn't begrudge him for keeping the money. After all, a local footballer isn't exactly the highest paid profession. So for him to just come out and say he's donating the proceeds to charity was really inspirational.
So I think Hassan Sunny donating his money was commendable, because when you have so much attention on you, it's very easy to make it like a me thing. But he decided then to, shine a spotlight on people who might need that attention more. So I thought it was really good and exemplary of an athlete in Singapore.
Everyone knows that I just retired from national team. I spent my whole life playing for national team, more than 2 decades. I have a lot of people who've been supporting me in my football career. So how do I repay back that support? At the end of the day, I just want to put a smile to all these boys.
Damn. Hassan Sunny, as a proud Malay individual, I'm happy to say you are a good representative for the Malay community. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
The orange lid. Give me the curry powder.
We're now in our second trimester and 26 weeks as of today. Just touch wood. I've been doing fine. Just getting a bit bigger and a little bit uncomfortable.
I want to be happy, but at the same time, I'm really nervous. I think this is why fathers pace up and down in the delivery room, because you just don't know what you're gonna get, right? All right, good. No corned beef for you.
My side of the family, my cousins, I'm really close to them. So we knew that our family would be very, very excited for us. That's how we told them. We had dinner. We decided to put in a little card where you had to like scratch and scratch for the information to find out.
Please don't scream, huh? I mean, let everybody scratch, okay? Let everybody scratch. I know!
So they were all scratching, and it revealed we are expecting. And he is due in March.
Apparently, that's his head. And the only other thing that we know is that he's very tall. Everything is in its right place.
Everything is where it should be, and his heartbeat is normal.
Yeah.
So that's what we want, normal.
Yeah, and our lovely doctor, for some reason, keeps pointing out like the family jewels. Like, look at the family jewels. Okay, yeah. You know it's a boy, right? Yeah, I know.
So I am about 16 weeks, right?
Yeah, 16 weeks.
He's better at counting. And we do know the gender of the baby. Because he was sucking his thumb, then after he took it out, and then he went like, thumbs up, and then the gynae went, hey, it's thumbs up, it's all good. I was actually quite scared it went viral. I was like, what? I just thought it would be, another news report. I didn't expect it to go viral.
I was thinking, like, wow, it's a lot of people are interested in this. People I haven't spoken to for years texting me.
Because it takes courage for Glenda to announce something so profound, right, at the age of 51. And it's out of society norm to be doing that at that age.
I remember reading the article that she said she went through 10 rounds, and even at the age of 51, she's not giving up. I think that's the most inspiring thing to me.
I'm pretty sure she got a bit of scrutiny, but I think it's a really brave thing, and nothing should stop you if you're ready and you really want it.
Congrats, Glenda. Praying for a smooth pregnancy for you, strong baby to come. 50s is the new 40s. Yes, totally agree. 50s is the new 40s. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, just such generous and kind comments. I think there was one which I really liked. Hope springs eternal, and hope is a huge motivator.
That's what I said. Yeah, it's very true.
Delighted to hear your wonderful baby news. And apparently this person was there during your first live cross on TV. So thanks, Rebecca. Very kind of you. And of course, there's you look great for your age. You look great even while pregnant.
I mean, I really appreciate all the prayers, especially the prayers. As we know, this is a high-risk pregnancy, and for everyone to have us in the prayers, I just...
Yeah.
Oh. Cash, go fetch your ball. Good boy!
Boy.
Hi, darling. Do you want to go catch the ball too? Guard. Wait. Fetch. Good boy. I don't think anyone's too old to be a mum. You're just a mum. A mum has no age. And to put the naysayers to bed is just that this child is going to be loved because we waited so long for you.
Hope is universal. You know, that's one of the most powerful things that we have as human beings.
We didn't want to regret. We only have one life to live, so live it the best you can. No regrets.
I was one of the first few people who knew that Glenda was carrying a child. And having worked with Glenda for the last decade or so, and knowing her not just in a professional capacity, but also as a friend, I couldn't have been more thrilled to find out that she was going to become a mother.
Every year I feel like we're going towards, solving so many problems in life medically, and having someone like Glenda Chong be able to have a kid at such wonderful age, I think it's amazing.
At least here in Singapore, a lot of people are having kids late. And they are worried like, oh no, should I freeze my egg? Will I have enough time with my kids to watch them grow up? And then here's Glenda at 51 doing just that. For me, as a person, that inspires me.
The hearing was relating to the whole idea of TikTok being banned in the US because of obviously security issues or security concerns.
So for big tech companies, they've been under scrutiny for quite a while, and particularly in 2024, the US Congress wanted to question the big bosses about how they are protecting data privacy of users. Why? Because a lot of these users might be under the age of 16.
The steps that we're taking to protect teens are a critical part of our larger trust and safety work.
The hearing was relating to the whole idea of TikTok being banned in the US because of obviously security issues or security concerns.
Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Senator, I'm Singaporean.
Mr. Chew. Obviously, him being the TikTok CEO had to go to hearing to testify, right? And funnily enough, out of this trial, the thing that came out of it was the constant barrage of questions about his nationality and his links to the Chinese Communist Party, which is to me like, what?
You often say that you live in Singapore. Of what nation are you a citizen?
Singapore.
Are you a citizen of any other nation?
No, Senator.
Have you ever applied for Chinese citizenship?
Senator, I serve my nation in Singapore.
The first thing that I reacted was, Singapore represent! Yeah, I mean, just proud Singaporean, right? So I was really impressed by his composure.
Senator, I'm Singaporean.
So how he handled it, very well. Respect. Well, it first went viral and a lot of people were doing their own parodies.
Mr. Chew, what country do you hold the passport to?
Singapore. Senator, if you haven't realized, Singapore is on the map located near the equator, far from where China is.
And what language do they speak in Singapore?
English, Senator.
No, the other language, the Asian one. Singlish. No, the Asian one.
And so after a few days, I was like, hey, I have my own idea, my own skit in mind.
Are you a citizen of any other nation?
No, Senator. Singaporeans were not allowed to have dual citizenship. Don't need anyways.
Do you have a Singaporean passport?
Yes, Senator. Best passport in the world. Hey.
Wow. Mr. Chew, Mr. Chew, Mr. Chew. He is such an inspiration because with the amount of pressure that was put onto him, he was so calm.
Have you ever been associated or affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party?
No, Senator. Again, I'm Singaporean.
He's representing not just his company, he's also representing Singapore in a way. And wow, I'm so proud of him. Woo.
I think in terms of Singaporeans putting our flag out there, that was something that I think resonated with a lot of people.
To be the CEO of one of the biggest platforms in the world is huge, you know. It was great for Singapore branding, and it's a Singaporean putting a stamp in another field that we don't usually put a stamp on. He became an internet celebrity.
Yeah, the labubu of social media,
labubu,
right?
the Zaddy, the Singapore Zaddy.
So I'm a huge Coldplay fan. I made it a point to go for every single concert they had here in Singapore.
I think I was one of the very few fortunate people to attend Taylor Swift and Coldplay. And I thought that Coldplay's concert particularly was very inspiring. They're really championing being inclusive.
Just something I can turn to, somebody I can kiss. I want something just like you know you make my world light up when I was.
Hi, I'm Daniel.
Hi, I'm Sean, and we are
two of the sign language interpreters for the Coldplay concert. What's really funny is that while we were interpreting, there were a lot of people that come out to the box, the area that we were in, to film us. In fact, some of the videos that you saw viral, we didn't even realize we were being recorded. And I think it's the first time a large mainstream concert like that has made their shows accessible for deaf people in this manner, right?
Yeah,
Not just with sign language interpreting, also with the vibration vests they gave out.
For a lot of the mainstream audience, to them, it's the first time that they have also experienced having a designated space just for interpreters. So it's a new experience for just everyone in general. But sometimes a vibration is just a vibration.
So what we did was the other person that is not doing the song, we would show the instruments.
The main instrument that's giving the main melody, could be a piano, could be a guitar, or the drum is the main feature. So that was just something that we thought on the fly, hey, it might enhance the experience.
That set the stage for people to realize, oh, at concerts like this, there can be a lot of fun for people who might not be able to enjoy the concert in a conventional way.
I'd pretty much resigned myself to having to repaint that part of the mural. All of that is kind of geared to the cigarette, and I don't know how I would change it. I have no idea. It would be hard to change it. Like the way that she's sitting, the direction she's looking, the look on her face, all of that is kind of geared to the cigarette, and I don't know how I would change it. I tried a few different things for fun. That's an opium pipe. The burning piece of paper, an orb. This is a bird. My favorite thing that I came up with was the kitty.
When it comes to Singapore's history, the Samsui women are a pivotal part of that, a part of the early years of construction and of development. For a nation that has changed so much in 5 decades, that pioneering spirit is one that maybe the modern generation of Singaporeans may not know so much about. It certainly was brought to the fore by this American artist who depicted the Samsui woman in his paintings. It became a topic of controversy because of the manner in which she was actually portrayed. And it caused quite a bit of debate.
11th of March. Singapore-based American artist you saw there, Sean Dunstan, started painting the mural on the conserved building. Around 11 days later, the Urban Redevelopment Authority informs the building owner that approval had not yet been obtained. URA said the mural was, quote, not aligned with Singapore's anti-smoking policy and asked for a fresh proposal. URA cited feedback from a person who said the woman depicted looked more like a prostitute than a hard-working Samsui woman.
What a lot of people on social media were focused on was complaints that were cited by URA.
So URA gave the artist Sean Dunstan 24 hours to make it right. Get rid of the cigarette.
So I just posted a few pictures and detail shots of the mural and an excerpt from the URA enforcement thing that they sent. It's got 10,000 likes, so it went nuts. And yeah, it was weird.
I thought it was very amusing to watch from the social media perspective. And then I also dressed up as a Samsui woman mural for Halloween, so I thought, just gotta give the mural a little shout out on this show.
So as a foreigner, I didn't expect this much support at this level. It was encouraging because I'd pretty much resigned myself to having to repaint that part of the mural, and I wasn't looking forward to it. It is inspiring that people can be a little bit more open.
I find that art, if you put too much constraint, it will hinder the expressions of the artist itself. So I personally support the freedom of speech, and I hope we have more of such mural coming out.
We're no longer that traditional society whereby everyone's like super conservative.
It's about freedom of expression and not taking things too seriously. Yeah, that open-mindedness, it's what is inspiring for us.
There's always this feeling that, oh, Singaporeans don't appreciate Singapore art or Singapore music or Singapore TV. But in this case, there was a piece of art that was done in the public space and people felt strongly that it should remain true to its form.
It was very encouraging to see people come forward to talk about art and defending a piece of art that they felt like maybe was a little bit maligned. And I thought that the entire story concluded on a very nice note, whereby people showed support to the artist. And also the URA was very willing to, take in considerations of what people in the community thought. One of the more massive pieces of news this year was when the train broke down.
Services on the East-West line were disrupted in the western part of Singapore between Boon Lay and Queenstown MRT stations since morning.
On 25th September, at around 8:50, I was at the platform. Then suddenly announcement was made to the passenger that there will be no train service due to a train fault. So had to disembark the passenger from the train to platform.
The passenger was very frustrated and so confused, especially on the first day, how they want to go to work, how they want to go back home. During the peak period, which is about 5 something for our station, Buona Vista, very massive the crowd.
No train services from Boon Lay to Queenstown for 6 days, affecting 2.1 million people. Not good.
Now, we didn't know it at the time, but it turned out to be the second largest train disruption in Singapore's history. And it just so happened that on that particular day, thousands of students were trying to get to school for their very important primary school leaving examination.
Out of these stories, came out the story taxi drivers giving out free rides to PSLE students.
9月25号，我收到公司给我的信息，叫我帮忙在9月26号早上6点15分之前到 Buona Vista 的 MRT 帮忙载学生去学校。因为我是想要帮忙学生们能够早一点到学校参加那个考试啦，所以我是 volunteer 帮学生们啦。
这个 PSLE 学生们如果赶不及去学校，一定很担心、很紧张的。多1、2德士参加的话，就有多一个机会载到这些学生。
So my staff will announce to all the students who are taking PSLE. So we will bring them to the taxi stand.
工作人员把他带到我车上的，然后跟他们讲是免费的，不用收钱的。头一天就载到一个无人那个富春小学的老师，第2天就有一个父亲带他的女儿来，也是在无人来 Ability Primary School 的，看他的样子可能是太紧张了，他搞不进考场。
在 Buona Vista 德士站载了一趟学生跟他的父亲，他们下车进学校之前还有跟我道谢哦。
我觉得这种是小小的一个服务而已，没有什么，只要他们安心考完就好了。
We've all been PSLE students, and it's all like we've all went through the struggle, and especially during this time when there's a lot of MRT disruptions, it's just really nice to see that Singaporeans are coming together to help students go through this really tough time.
It kind of shows that Singaporeans we empathize with each other going through bad times, and then we are just trying to help each other get through the year.
I am unpacking one of my kites, specifically the one that I used on day 1 of racing at the Olympic Games. It's 15 square meters of kite, and it's simply a moderate kite width, and it is one of my favorites to use.
Maeder is the first Singaporean to win an Olympic medal since Joseph Schooling won gold in 2016. The two-time world champion is also the country's youngest Olympic medalist.
Frankly, I must say, I recall simply pride. And I feel like I was happy that I can share such a special moment with so many people. It wasn't about, oh, I got a medal. It wasn't about how well I did or how poorly I did. It was simply about seeing all the family members, all the friends on the sidelines cheering, having Singapore flag raised up there. At the kite foiling finals, I don't think I was quite satisfied with the performance out on the water, but hey, that's why sport is so beautiful, because you still can learn more things and you still can improve more things, which I find to be one of the beautiful things about just competing. It blew me away how much people came out. The weather was raining at some point. And wow, I did not know that Singaporeans supported their athletes by cheering so well, and definitely put a big smile on my face for the rest of the whole day. I always wanted to make some form of positive impact through my sport, and to have even the chance and the opportunity to inspire someone and make a positive impact upon their life meant a lot to me, and it puts a smile on my face and it encourages me to continue to do what I do. I have a confession to make. I have barely read any comments online. I haven't seen much, but from what I have seen is that it is completely positive. Well, I want to say that it's very special to me that you are encouraging and supporting and following along. It's a big part of motivation and encouragement for me, and it gives what I do a deeper purpose. And so, thank you so much for being part of that.
I used to be an athlete, so I know how hard it is to get there. It's always very inspiring to see how athletes go through the whole cycle and then making it all the way to Olympics and then winning it.
I feel like Max first medal, the bronze medal in Olympic is quite inspiring, as we only have a few medals, include the Joseph Schooling gold medal in the Rio 2016 Olympic.
I think it gives Singaporeans the hope that a lot of things are possible despite us being quite a small population.
For many years, Singapore has often been preparing to have a sailing medalist at the Olympics. Max Maeder helped us break through that glass ceiling.
When Joseph Schooling won the gold medal, a lot of the conversation was, we never know when we'll have a moment like this ever again. But look at this, 8 years down the road, you really had a clear shot at a medal. Some people said a gold medal was within grasp. I was filled with pride and excitement for us. And also kind of like, just because it's National Day, the pride was ×2.
What's also exciting is, if he's 17 when he won, could this be someone who has so many years in front of him to continue making Singaporeans proud?
And to you watching this, I wish you the happiest of New Years.
Happy New Year.
And wishing you and your loved ones the best in 2025.
We're so excited for the year ahead.
Have a great year and have a wonderful time, and kick ass.
Let me take this opportunity to wish everyone a very happy 2025. Have a great year ahead.
Hope 2025 is an amazing year for you. It's SG60, y'all.